Hi, this is Linda Shea with Drilling Contractor. I'm at the 2025 IADC Drilling Caspian Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan. I have with me Artem Stopnevich with Rystad Energy, who talked at the conference this morning about his outlook for the drilling market. Artem, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me here, Linda.
So one of the things that you said in your presentation that really caught my attention was that you said there's a call for a new round of rig building to support deep water drilling growth. Can you kind of elaborate on why you think that is, and maybe what's your views on the reality of that happening?
Yes, absolutely. So over the last few years, we've seen kind of underinvestment in the supply chain of oil and gas industry, and that goes together with the offshore rig supply. So you see a lot of the rigs being actually phased out for being too old, and then the new order book is looking pretty thin for the new developments and projects that are going to come online in the early 2030s. So when we look at the deep water production of Brazil, West Africa, etc., we actually notice that there is increasing rig demand, while the actual supply is diminishing because of the factors I just mentioned. So it's really a call for upstream producers, for supply chain companies, for drillers to work together on project-by-project basis to make sure that they have enough rig supply to actually materialize these projects on the announced dates that they have it.
You also talked in your presentation about the possible effects that the new Trump administration in the U.S. could have on oil markets. Can you kind of elaborate on the bullish versus bearish factors that you talked about?
Yes, it's actually very mixed signals that the Trump administration is giving right now on a lot of different factors that will come into play. But what I would say is there is definitely a push from Trump administration to deliver on his promises of lowering global oil price and satisfying the domestic electorate. And to do that, he really has to put pressure on OPEC cohesion and also maybe unwinding some of the sanctions, let's say on Russia or other countries. What we can see is actually he can allow for a short downfall in oil prices, but actually for the longer term plans of fulfilling the drill baby drill agenda, you actually have to keep the oil prices pretty high up above the $75 per barrel level. So we can actually see that even short term, there could be a slight downwards pressure, but longer term to fulfill in his US production outlook, there really needs to be sustained high oil price level.
And finally, since we're here at the Drilling Caspian Conference, can you kind of give us a quick overview of your outlook for drilling activities in the Caspian region?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's actually a very interesting story for the Caspian region now, when there is a lot of mega projects which have been producing for years on end. Maybe some are in decline or some are reaching their plateau. So we see a plethora of new opportunities, new smaller projects which actually need to be developed. And that really has a big call on drilling, in addition to the infill that's happening. So when we look at the Karabakh field development, Absheron development, Shadnis Phase 2 and the infill drilling on ACG, we also see increasing demand from Kazakhstan on the Kashagan field, also on the Kalamkas-Kazar project. So all of that coupled together is actually all coming online in pretty similar times, and the development is happening late 20s, early 30s, which is going to have an increasing call on the vessels, on the rigs, and on the supply chain to deliver on that as well. So actually for the Caspian region, it's also super crucial to secure those contracts, secure those vessels, secure all the supply chain bits and pieces and the companies to actually deliver on these projects on time.
Well, thank you so much, Artem, for being here and for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you very much, Linda.
And thank you for joining us on drillingcontractor.org.